Here's my question to you, because we talked about this last week, right? I think you and I both gave the benefit of the doubt. Hey, it's week 1. People are rusty, like brand new system, brand new scheme, whatever. But the Gamecocks ran 2.8 yards per carry on Saturday against East Carolina. And we talked about all week, that's your advantage in the trenches. You're bigger, you're more physical, you have SEC athletes. And we're talking about an ECU defense, Alex, that gave up 226 rushing yards to Appalachian State and average surrendering 201 yards per game on the ground in their 2020 season. Are you concerned yet about the South Carolina offensive line? Like, what's your concern level right now? Because there were times, especially in that first half, where it feels like you got pushed around. And again, this is not a defensive front for ECU that has pushed anybody around in the last year plus.
We're going to need to see some rapid improvement out of that group, I feel like, in the next 4 days to have any kind of a chance this weekend. I wish I had a better explanation for it, because you got a ton of experience on that line. So I think it has to fall back on a new scheme to some degree. Outside of that, I don't really know. I don't like, because, you look at what Kevin Harris was able to accomplish last year, and a lot of those same guys are standing there.
4 of those 5 guys, over 80 career starts.
Yeah, those same guys are standing there now. So it's got to be a situation where it's just not gelling with the scheme at this point, and hopefully that's something that can get worked out this week, because they're going to need to be better than they have been.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Like I said, it's hard to come up with an explanation because, again, after week 1, gave the benefit of the doubt. You know what? It's week 1. I think we'll make a major improvement. We'll run the football. It was very hard to run the ball again, and you start to say, oh, boy, if this offensive line can't get it together, and this is supposed to be the strength of your football team. And, again, like you said, there's just no explanation, because these guys are all experienced. They all play together, and they all paved the way for what Kevin Harris did last season. And, again, I guess that's maybe the thing that can give you some confidence, is you're like, you know what? They've done it before, so at least we have that to hang our hat on. Speaking of the offensive line, though, and their struggles, moving to quarterback, Alex, what it even confirms more so to me, I'll tell you this. I think the Zeb Nolan for Heisman campaign that never really got off the ground anyways, but for those that were saying that last week, I think that's officially over and dead. Especially, though, if your offensive line can't be any better than they are. I mean, I think Zeb Nolan was sacked 4 times on Saturday, and you and I were talking off air. Very Colin Hill-esque. And that's no knock on Colin Hill or Zeb Nolan, by the way. But when it comes to skill set, very, very similar. We saw a lot of the problems, or at least I thought I did, Alex, of problems we had last year in that game on Saturday, and you couldn't run the football. I mean, I would assume you can be as quick as you want with this answer, but no question in your mind, Luke Doty's QB1 for this football team, the best option. Because I think especially if you've got those offensive line struggles, you're just, especially when you're looking ahead, and we're going to talk more about that Georgia game, you're going to have a guy that can escape, get out of the pocket, be dynamic, like we said last week. Zeb Nolan's story has been great, but this is Luke Doty's football team.
It is. And going back to what we were talking about last week, I think it has been the entire time until that, foot injury rears its ugly head. So, it just comes back to what we were talking about last week. If he's not 100%, he's not going to play. And I think that's, the assessment all the coaches made before that game kicked off was he's not 100%. So we don't want to put him out there, re-aggravate this thing, re-injure it. So let's go with Zeb and do the best we can. And, a little bit stiffer competition this week. So we found out a lot more about the football team, as we thought we were going to. And, unfortunately that revealed that those offensive line concerns may be more valid than we wanted them to be. But, but Luke Doty's definitely number 1 and should be going forward if he can play.